What's good, everybody? Thank you guys for listening to episode 8 of Tune Check. So, y'all already know, just like last episode. So, y'all already know the rundown. We're going to talk about some news. We're going to talk about some singles. Then we're going to do our album reviews, alright? So, let's start off with the news. The first thing we're going to talk about is Lil Yachty. He went on Instagram Live a few days ago and was pretty much talking about a lot. He started saying how Atlanta has better style than New York. A lot of people weren't really feeling that. There were some people that responded to him, even fans in general. They were just saying like, hey, like even fans in general weren't really feeling what he was saying. And then he eventually started speaking about Caribou. He was saying how she's no longer part of Concrete Boys. He had said that nothing bad happened and that he wishes her the best. But, at the end of the day, like, Caribou was ass. I'm sorry to say, but she really didn't bring anything. And the last thing that they dropped, her verses were just trash. They were not good. And I feel like that's probably part of why. I haven't really seen anything negative about her on social media. So I don't think it's anything like that. I feel like maybe they just couldn't find something that works for both of them or for the group in general. But I feel like this was a good move. But hopefully she continues to do music, works on her craft and everything, and has like a comeback soon. Then next, we got some more TDE versus Drake. Drake's beefing with the whole label now. Earlier this week, right? This has to do with DJ Scheme. He's not part of TDE, but this is pretty much how everything started, somewhat. So DJ Scheme, everybody knows who he is. That's X's DJ. So you already know the history there. He accused Drake of stealing his flow. People are saying that Drake had something to do with his, murder. RIP to him. So DJ Scheme was at the venue in Toronto that Drake co-owns, and he played Not Like Us, which caused Schoolboy Q to reply on social media, along with Ski Master Slump God. They're pretty much like thanking DJ Scheme, or like we're just happy that he played that song there to get back at Drake. But I feel like what a lot of people aren't realizing is that Drake co-owns that venue. So all that money that was made that night is still going to his pocket. So I feel like that's the real W. Later on, it turns out that Sir from TDE had his show canceled at that venue because he's on tour right now. He released his album Heavy earlier in the year, which is really good, so go listen to it. And Drake is pretty much just canceling shows left and right with anybody related to TDE. Like he's really stopping all these people's bags. I think it's crazy. Drake said that he's unfazed, and then, Yachi went on. And then, Yachi, he had like interviews and stuff. He even said that Drake is unfazed. You got Gordo saying that he's unfazed, but it's the stuff that he's doing that makes you believe that he's not. Like, even if he finds it annoying, like, I wouldn't stop somebody else's bag, because since you own the venue or co-own, that money's coming to you too. But, I don't know how rich this man is, but I feel like that's still an L regardless. But moving on from that, we got some good news. JT, one of y'all fave city girls, she received her first solo appearance on the Billboard 200 with City Cinderella. It debuted at 27. And I actually think that's really good for a mixtape. Like your first mixtape, your first solo mixtape. I think that's great. Congratulations to her. That's a great accomplishment. I feel like she's going to bring more to the table sooner or later. So again, congratulations to her. And then speaking about accomplishments, we got Kendrick Lamar. His song Not Like Us has surpassed 600 million streams, becoming the fastest rap song to ever do it, dethroning God's Plan, which is by Drake. And it is also now the #1 most selling song in the US for 2024. Shout out to Kendrick. I'm a Kendrick fan. I love Kendrick. I think he's a dope rapper. I think he's a great artist. He's one of my favorite artists of all time. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick, those are my guys. Like, I ride for each one. I'm not about to pretend like we don't know why Kendrick got this, but that's a conversation for another day. But regardless, shout out to Kendrick. He's getting his bag. And honestly, like I said this on the last episode, I feel like him and Drake are probably gonna make a song together, and it's about to like just turn heads and go crazy. I feel like they're really gonna come together after this anyway. And then moving past that, we got Kehlani. She finally did and released her Tiny Desk performance. The songs that she sang here, the songs that she performed here were Nights Like This, Distraction, Can I, and After Hours. I loved it. I saw it yesterday. I thought it was great. She really did her thing. She sounds so good live. Like, it's incredible. Her band, her background singers, all of that, like, they were so good. And honestly, I think I might have to go see her in concert because she did a really good fucking job. So please go listen to it. Please go watch the video. Go watch the performance. It's really good. And especially if you're a Kehlani fan, go listen to it. It's great. That's all I got for the news, something a little light, nothing too crazy. Next, we're going to talk about our singles. So there was a few that I was really enjoying that came out this past Friday. The first one is from Jordan. I'm sorry if I botched your name or if I messed it up. I don't know how to pronounce it, but his name is Jordan Aditunji. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. I'm sorry again. I apologize. But he released a remix to his song Kalani, which is featuring Kalani. I mean, I thought the song was great. I was fucking with it already with the original one. So having Kalani on it is definitely a flex, especially because it's about her. So go listen to it. They both definitely vibe off each other. I feel like she really did a good job and she killed it. So go run it up, go check it out. Especially if you like the original, you're definitely gonna love the remix. And then the next song that I wanted to talk about is from Shorty Shorty. It's called What's Your Name? You know, the title pretty much tells you what the song is about. He's literally just trying to get to know some girl and asking her what her name is and all that. You know, the lyrics are very basic and everything, but it's a really catchy song. And the beat is just like really easy to vibe with. You see yourself rocking to it and everything. It's a good like song to just play if you want to like just chill or like set a mood just to, just to vibe. Then the third song is from Dochi. She released Nissan Altima. Like the drums on this track is crazy. Her flow goes well with the song. I feel like she made the song because of that. Like she's so good on this track and it's fire. Like she ate this up. Like you could bop to this. Anybody could. This is a fire turn up song, to be honest. Her delivery was amazing. This is a really fire single. It's probably my favorite one to come out this weekend. Please go run it up, go listen to it. Then after that, we got Big Sean. He released a song called On Up from his album. I think this is going to be on his album. Most likely it is, which is coming out this Friday. So I'm excited for that. I've been excited for that. So on this track, he's just talking about his kid, that everything's about him now. Everything that he's doing is for his son. He also mentions how he's scared for what's going to happen to his son or like things that he may go through as he's growing up. It's very deep and emotional. Like I was really enjoying it. I thought it was dope. I feel like this project that Sean is gonna drop is probably gonna be around those lines. Like Detroit 2 was kind of like that a little bit. It had those songs where they were a little personal, but yet more about like developing yourself as a person. But overall, I think it's gonna be a great album, so I'm super excited for it. A few days away. Then next we got Mike Will Made It. He released a song called Higher, featuring Lil Yachty and Lil Wayne. I never really expected this collab, but it sounds really good. I haven't really been the biggest Lil Yachty fan recently, but he was really good on this track. He does like a soft rap, rap sing kind of thing with his new like auto tune voice and everything. Lil Wayne does the same thing. He's been doing the same thing for years. That rap singing. I feel like both of them together really made the song come alive. And Mike Will Made It also announced that he's dropping an album. So I'm excited because I enjoy when producers drop like a full length album with just a bunch of artists they want on it. Metro Boomin did his, and he's still doing his. DJ Mustard just dropped like last week, and it was amazing. And now we got Michael Made It dropping. His last album was fire, so I think this one's gonna be really good, and I'm excited for it. And then next we got ASAP Rocky. He dropped a song called Hijack featuring Jessica Pratt. Honestly, this song was fire. It reminded me of Live Love ASAP because of the beat. I feel like he did his thing. This was a great single for him to like, come back. And his album's supposed to drop in August, so I'm excited for that. Like the song is pretty good. It went from like a rap song to like a pop country kind of thing towards the middle. But overall it was very interesting and it was dope. It's just really good to hear him finally like do a good song because his last album in my opinion, I think it's called Testing. I thought it was trash. Like that shit was I don't know what the fuck that was, but I'm just really excited for this and I hope he doesn't let me down. And then last but not least, we got an R&B song. It's from Kitch Craig. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, so I'm sorry. But it's with Friday and Mariah the Scientist featuring Future. It's called Slow Down. I thought the song was really nice. It was a nice little soft song. It was bass heavy, but it was very soft at the end, like a slow R&B song. Friday was on the hook. He did a really good job. Mariah the Scientist, she had a small verse, but it was still good. Her voice fit perfectly for this song. And then Future did like his Hendrix, R&B kind of vibe on this, and it was fire too. R&B's been doing real good this year, so shout out to that. Shout out to every artist that's making an R&B song right now. But go run this up. Go run all these songs up because all these songs are really good. And I'm very surprised because most of the time there's like singles that drop that aren't really too good, but all of these songs on Friday was actually pretty fire. All right, and now, we're going to get into our album reviews. There's 2 rap albums and then there's 3 R&B albums. So I'm going to start with the rap albums. There's going to be really quick. So the first one I want to get into is from Killer Mike. The album is called Michael and the Mighty Midnight Revival Songs for Sinners and Saints. That's a long ass title, but it's alright. So the album is 10 songs and 39 minutes long. The features are Anthony Hamilton, Offset, Blast, Belly Gang, Cushington. It's a crazy ass name. Jane Hancock. I like that because, the play on Hancock. Adonica Nunn, Troy Durden, Key Glock, and Project Pat. So this was stated to be the epilogue to his Michael era, like, his last album and everything, which released 2023. It won a Grammy. Everybody was upset because Travis Scott ain't win it, but honestly, I'm pretty happy Michael won it. Like, I don't have too much to say about it because it's very similar to his last album. He has a lot of gospel elements and then he has trap elements, but it kind of leans more towards the trap side. There's also some pianos in the background that you'll hear more towards the second half of the album, which is fire. He speaks more about his faith here and, like, things that he's been through, accomplishments and all. But I feel like this was very similar to his last work. I know it's an epilogue and it's supposed to be, cohesive and all that. But that's why I don't feel like there's too much to talk about because of the fact that it's kind of like the same thing. Overall, this album was good. His verses and everything, they were great. The features were fire. But go listen to it. I think it's a great project regardless. Especially if you like the last album, you're definitely gonna love this one. And I'm happy that he released something else and still was able to keep the work consistent. And he's showing people like, hey, like, I deserve the Grammy that I won, because he's been going off about that for a while. Shout out to Killer Mike. I'm looking forward to anything else that you're gonna drop too. And then next we got JPEGMafia. I lay down my life for you. 14 songs, 41 minutes long. The features are Vince Staples, Denzel Curry, and Buzzy Lee. My favorite songs is I Scream in the Mirror, Before I Talk to People, then it's Sin Miedo. Then I loved It's Dark and Hell is Hot, Don't Rely on Another Man, Ex-Military, and then JPEG Ultra. So I was really enjoying this album, like, I had no idea that he was going to release anything. I know he released singles, but I didn't think he was going to release like a whole project. So, like, I was just chilling at work and all I seen was that this dropped. I was like, all right, let me listen to it. First listen, I fucked with it. Thought it was fire. I loved it. This is an alternative rap album. I thought it was fire. It was dark and edgy. His delivery, his flows, his bars, his cadence, all of that. The production is very experimental. The guitars on some of the songs were like very hard hitting, but it was great. He speaks about his personal life, a lot of troubles he had and some relationships and stuff. He also dissed Drake. I didn't realize he dissed Drake until social media made like a big thing about it, which is why I hate social media at times, because, like, I am a Drake fan and everything, but, like, this is a really good work of art. Like, this was a really good project. I hate that everybody's only talking about the diss because it takes away from the project as a whole. But even then, like, JPEGMafia went on social media and said that he's been dissing Drake for years, since 2016. And he said that if anybody has a problem with what he said on his album, that his tour dates are in his bio. I think that's fire. He's standing on his business. If anybody got something to say, he want all the smoke. I think that's tough. And then he also said that y'all can't even pay your rent and you're defending Drake for free. Go outside and be somebody. I thought that was hilarious, bro. But shout out to JPEGMafia for standing on business. But I enjoyed this album. I thought it was refreshing. I love when rappers do like this alternative, rap or like rock kind of blend. It worked for Uzi. That was like my favorite album of last year. I still listen to it to this day. Don Toliver did a good job with it too. I feel like he didn't execute it the way he wanted it to, or was like a little too scared to do like the whole thing, but whatever he did attempt to do was great. These are just recent examples, but I feel like this album is going to be so underrated. It's one of the best projects of this year, like, by far. So go listen to it, go stream it, run it up. Like, he did his thing. It's great. All right, and then next we're going to get into our R&B albums, R&B projects. We're going to start off with Amaya, Like a Flower. I apologize if I said your name wrong. So this has 7 songs and it's 18 minutes long. My favorite songs on this project, I honestly loved everyone, like each and every song, but I got like 2 songs that are actually like my favorites, and it's Element and Too Much. I think she has like a really beautiful voice, and the songs that she's singing over, like the beats and all that, it helps complement her voice. Like, she has like these amazing runs throughout the entire album too. How she just sings on the album is like so easygoing to her, and this and her delivery of each and every like verse is just so good. This was like really fun and just enjoyable for her to make, and I think that's amazing. I love it when it sounds like that. Like I love when artists do that. It's great. Like she has this soft tone that just resonates throughout each song. She has like a similar sound to Thames, but you could still distinguish who she is as an artist and everything. I think that's dope. This whole thing was kind of like R&B mixed with a little bit of Afro beats, to be honest. And I thought it was fire. You know, that works well. So I loved how like she went about this whole thing, and I'm happy that she released it. I'm happy that I was able to listen to it because it was great. I definitely see myself going back and listening to this a few more times. Please go check it out. It's a really great project and you'll definitely enjoy it. And then next we have Elijah Blake. He released Elijah, 12 songs, 40 minutes. My favorite songs here are Ghostbuster, Is Everybody Okay, Call Me When You Get There, and Best Friend. As I was listening to this, his voice reminded me of Black and Frank Ocean, like a mix of them two. And I really enjoyed that because I love both of those artists too. You know, he reminded me of Sir and Lucky Day as well too, you know, because of how he went about making these songs, you know, with the instruments he used and certain harmonies. So I thought that was dope. I enjoyed this entire project. I thought it was fire. I loved it. You know, this was very refreshing too. He's a great storyteller. You know, the storytelling here is great. He sings about love and, you know, discovering himself as a person. I thought that was dope. You know, very relatable. His songwriting is great. You know, he's written songs for other artists as well, and I think it's fire. I really enjoyed this project. Like I said earlier, R&B's been doing really good this year, and this is a great example of how good it's been doing. So shout out to Elijah Blake. Go listen to this album, and I'm looking forward like for his next project or whatever else he's gonna drop because I'm a fan. After this, I'm definitely a fan. So please go check it out. And then last, we got Khalid. His album, he dropped his third album, Sincere. After like a few years, he finally dropped something. It's 16 songs, 52 minutes long. The only feature on this album is Arlo Parks. My favorite songs are Adore You, which is a single that he released. Then it's Altitude, It's All Good, Broken, Dose, Please Don't Fall in Love with Me, which is another single he released. And then Who's There to Pick Me Up. You know, from the point I started listening to this till the end, I realized that I enjoyed the first 8 songs more than I did the final 8. You know, like overall, the album was great. I loved the whole thing in its entirety. I just had a better experience when I was listening to the first half compared to the second half. You know, this project was super personal. It was very deep and emotional, more than like his previous works. His voice is different here too. I noticed it when like the first single dropped. It doesn't sound like how it used to most of the time. Like it feels as if he was singing with like an accent, but now when he's singing on this, it's kind of gone for majority of the songs. Like there's like a few songs where he brings it back. You know, he has this confidence that he's delivering on this album as he sings. You know, it sounds really good. He sounds very relaxed. And I feel like he sounds very comfortable giving us these tracks, you know, singing these lyrics. He's really sticking to the title, you know, of him being sincere. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that was dope. He's being open with a lot of his experiences, you know, that happened within the past couple of years. The tone and the theme of the album are consistent throughout. He shows a lot of his vocal range too, which is great. You know, the harmonies and the rhythms on this album are fire. He touches a few genres here too. He has like 2 songs that are pretty much pop songs. You could consider them pop songs. He raps on 2 songs as well. There's a lot of trap and beat elements. Then there's like a country pop song called Heat Stroke. You know, I thought that was fire. I also enjoyed how the title track Sincere was basically an acoustic track when it starts. And then as the song goes, he pretty much just adds all these other elements throughout the song. I thought that was dope, you know? He's pretty much asking the person if they're being sincere with him. Like an acoustic record is very like, you know, emotional and personal. You know, it's very sincere. And then as the song progressed, like all these sounds that he's adding on, I feel as if it helped establish what he was trying to sing about the person, if they're being sincere or not. It's pretty much as if the extra sounds resemble like the walls that he has set up for himself. or like the lies that the person set up when they're telling him that they're being sincere, you know, like, or if they're being sincere with him. That's just my thought process throughout listening to that song. You know, it may be a stretch, but you know, it's my review, so fuck it, right? But this album was great, honestly. I didn't really expect it to be as good as it was, so I'm really happy that I enjoyed it so much. You know, as I said earlier, this year for R&B has been so great, from the artists to the albums to the EPs to the mixtapes. It's really been kicking up, and I love that because the year before R&B was really trash and people were saying that R&B is dead, but I feel like it's making a really strong comeback, and all of these albums this year, all these projects this year really like say a lot. So shout out to everybody that's been dropping R&B projects. Shout out to Khalid. This album is fire. I loved it. When you're about to announce these tour dates, I'm ready. I'm gonna be there. But that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. You know, if there's any songs that you think are great and you want me to talk about or mention, let me know. If there's any albums, EPs, or mixtapes, same thing, let me know. And just like I say every episode, like, follow, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.